Well, a pleasant good afternoon to you and you and you, whatever part of the world you may be joining us today. We say welcome to Transforming Lives One at a Time. I am your host, Dianne, and of course here on this program, Transforming Lives One at a Time, we seek to address and find solutions to problems that we face on a daily basis in society. We are here to positively influence our homes, our communities, and our nations. My guest today is Miss Karelle Daniel, and she is a counseling psychologist based in Tobago. She holds a master's in counseling psychology and has over 10 years experience in her field. She is the founder and manager of Inner Healing Counseling Center, which is her private practice. Ms. Daniel, thank you once again for joining us on the program.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here.
Wonderful,
Yes,
wonderful.
Thank you.
Well, today we are going to be talking about finding practical ways to dealing with loss.
Yes.
And we know that loss is a very broad area, very broad topic. And when we consider the word loss, we speak about experiencing the dissolving of something that is important to us.
Yes.
And we want to speak about general loss. And from the onset, we can think about maybe someone losing a job, a house, a property, someone losing a spouse or partner through divorce or otherwise. And we want to venture into some of these areas that at times we may not pay much attention to, but these losses have far-reaching effects on our lives and, of course, our families. So, Ms. Daniel, let's talk about the trauma of losing a job. It's your livelihood.
Yes.
Now your only source of income is no more. Walk us through the emotions at play here and how best this situation can be handled.
Can be managed. Okay, so in terms of losing a job in itself, it creates maybe someone's identity, it gives persons purpose and meaning. And I mean walking into your office place or wherever you work and getting the information or receiving a letter stating that this may be your last day or this may be your last month could be quite devastating, right? And persons may experience a range of emotions. There may be anger, there may be confusion, grief, because they mourn the fact that they are now unable to financially be stable. Depression may set in. Anxiety, the fear of the unknown. So there are so many different things that could go through the mind and even the emotional state of an individual. And in terms of management, I would identify 3 main points. The first one is social support.
Okay.
And social support could mean like government assistance or programs or grants. I believe that there are some programs that are available to persons, wherever you are at.
Right.
Whatever country, I believe that there may be social programs that you can access. And then we may have family and friends support. Right? We are prideful people.
Yes, we are.
Right? And this in itself can be quite difficult.
Yeah.
Can be quite difficult. I can even share, there was a point in time even in my own life where when it was so low, I had to ask for help.
Yeah.
And I struggled. I was home crying and I'm like, God, why? I normally have everything together.
Yes.
What? But it was a lesson for me that I am not in control.
Right.
And to give the reins to him.
Okay.
And I understand anybody who's at that point will have to ask somebody. Sometimes it brings shame and it brings guilt.
Yes.
That you have to ask for that type of support. But I encourage you to push on and to press into it. And also your church community.
Yes.
That's another way you can lean into to receive that type of support. So that's one management, I would say, tip I can share. Another one, adjusting your perspective. See it as an opportunity.
Okay.
Right? As an opportunity where you can now tap into yourself we have so many unhidden talents and skills.
Yes.
We can see even in COVID, when persons did lose their jobs, but we saw a lot of private and small businesses popping up. A lot of entrepreneurs came up.
Correct.
Because of the saying is, desperation brings innovation.
Oh, yeah. True.
Right? So there are a lot of skills
Yes.
that you may possess or you may have within you that you could tap into, you know. And another one, a positive mindset.
Okay.
Speaking of it, it can sound very difficult when you have your bills piling up high.
Yes.
You have rent, you have mortgage, you have to send the children to school. There are limited resources, food, groceries.
Yes.
Right? And I will say, seeking that professional help and support, like from a therapist or counselor, can help you as well to search and to seek out that inner strength.
Okay.
You know, I can share of a client I had who was in the same situation, unemployed. And of course she came because of the mental challenges,
Yes.
the psychological challenges of stress. And, you know, we were able to problem solve and critical thinking and processing different things. And she started volunteering at her children's school, and eventually they found things for her to do, and of course she was compensating monetarily.
Wow, yes.
You know, so I'm saying try as much as you can to find that inner strength and resource within yourself.
Yes.
For anybody who is maybe experiencing it, and to push forward, right, and seek the help that if you need that support, seek it out.
Yes, because it's when we looking at the practicality of it, it is very, very, very discouraging when, as it were, your back is up against the wall and you are just seeing and you're just picturing your children, and you know the school fees probably coming up, a new school term is coming up, groceries. Because remember, when you have been constantly employed, you work basically on a month-to-month basis, most persons. So to have something like this, I could imagine the kind of shock, the kind of so many emotions at play. Yes, definitely panic. And I really know about when you are accustomed having things under control and having to go to someone to ask. In your mind, you're like, oh, you're thinking so many things. What would they say? But as I told a young lady some time ago, she was in a dire situation and she wanted to ask someone for help and stuff like that. And I said, listen to me. There are two things they can tell you, yes or no.
My mom says that.
Yes or no. If it's yes, you know, okay, fine. If it's no, you know, okay, I now have to look at another area. But never be afraid to ask for help. I totally agree. I totally agree with that. Now, as we continue the conversation, we want to touch on various kinds of loss that we go through from time to time, as it relates to the dissolving of a relationship, the losing of a partner or a spouse through divorce or even separation. We want to delve into some of the effects one will experience mentally, physically, socially, and even financially. Let's talk about that.
Okay. So in terms of the psychological aspect, the mental aspect, there may be anger or a lot of blame, because depending on how it was dissolved, blame on the other party, or even self-blame, as in what could I have done, or the things I could have done to change things, right? A lot of sadness and even loneliness. You feel lonely. These are some of the psychological effects that persons may go through. And then there is grief. You know, we grieve the loss of. Socially, there is the issue with the extended family. How do we treat with the extended family? Imagine if I have a very close relationship with my partner's siblings, and now that this divorce has come up, you know, it will bring up a lot of negative emotions or thoughts or even conversations. how to treat with the extended family, how to treat with mutual friends.
Yes.
Now the friends are in the middle of it. They don't know if, they don't want to seem as though they're picking sides.
Correct.
Right? So they are also cautious. They're not too sure what to do.
Yes.
We have isolation because within yourself, you are still going through the emotional roller coaster, right? Of dealing with the loss.
Yeah.
You know, you may want to, you know what, I don't want to do anything. And even thinking about the spots that the couple may go to, it can affect you. Okay, where can I go now to enjoy maybe a nice dinner because this was our place and this is my favorite place, you know.
Or
and
even music.
And music.
A song that just triggers everything.
Triggers everything. And then we have, so you said psychological, social, physical. There are physical effects because going through anything that is stressful, it can impact your body.
Yes.
Right? So some persons may begin to suffer from headaches or muscle aches, loss of appetite, difficulty in sleeping.
Wow.
We know digestive issues and the typical hypertension, like in terms of your blood pressure because of the stress.
Yes.
And even heart issues if left untreated or if not dealt with. So those are some of the physical effects it could have on your body if you are not able to manage the process of healing, you know, through loss. And we were speaking on financial.
But even before you touch on financially, you have spoken so much about the kinds of emotions and the kinds of grief, in the turmoil it now takes on the human body. And many times, and as I indicated earlier, sometimes we overlook some of these things. We may just say, okay, well, I know this couple is now divorced or they are now separated, and we just tend to, okay, well, it didn't work out and that's it. But for the persons who were in the relationship, it takes a toll on them as individuals. Yes, you may be fighting or because of how things was dissolved, how it ended, it may have been very bitter and that kind of thing. So you're not grieving the loss of the person in that instance, but you're actually grieving the loss of the relationship. Because remember, when two persons have decided to come together and start a life together and get married, remember, you're only thinking the good things, you know.
Yes, butterflies.
I'm telling you, of course. We're talking about the wedding dress and he's so, those eyes and those, so many things that but we typically look at all the good things. Yes, we talk about in good times and bad times, but we don't ever think about the bad times, eh?
No, ma'am.
You know, so it's a grieving process that sometimes we take for granted and we beat up on ourselves because you're thinking, well, I'm not supposed to feel like that. But I believe you should give yourself enough time to heal.
Yes,
let's talk about that before we go on to the financial part.
I will say yes, you have to give yourself time to heal because you do not want that the frustration in dealing with the loss, it affects your other relationships around you. Or it prevents you from even making positive relationships or healthy relationships with others. There may be a trust factor, right? And you want to make sure that you are settled within yourself and your mind and your spirit, that you know what? This is painful, but I will be okay. You know, get into that place of acceptance as to what the relationship has ended. Get into a place of acceptance, acknowledging it for what it was, and just try and focus now on your own goals and your aspirations.
And rebuilding.
And a lot of times, sometimes it's two good people, just it doesn't work out.
Correct. Well, let's go into financially now.
So financially, now, in the cases where they were cohabiting or married couples, right? Typically in a household such as those, you would share responsibilities. If you're renting, it's shared.
Yes.
You know, or one may cover the rent and one may do the food or groceries and other bills. You know, there's a shared resources.
Yes.
Right? And now when there is now a split, the onus is on each individual. Whether you move back home by parents,
wow,
or whether you're now on your own renting, or you know you're on your own having to pay this entire mortgage.
Yes.
I've known of situations where there is a split now, and then even in times of court battles, you know, well, there may be mandatory court orders,
yes,
right? The alimony, or if it's court child maintenance, all these things now have to be worked out.
yes.
You know, in light of that, and understanding or managing the payment of loans and all these debts. So financially can be taxing on both parties.
Yes, but even as we talk about that, the various areas how your life is now being impacted, and we speak about financially, what do you think about having that level of maturity? Because these are two individuals, and I mean, I know sometimes, many times, in many instances, based on people's behavior, you realize that they have not been handling things in a mature manner. And I think that is an area that we really need to work on as individuals, because we have to recognize, listen, sometimes things don't work out. If it doesn't work out, okay, let's move on. Let's be respectable. Let's try, especially when you have children involved.
Yes.
And you are now a parent is now using the children as weapons against the other parent.
We see that a lot.
We see that a lot, but I'm thinking, because here on Transforming Lives One at a Time, we are looking for solutions. We want to talk about problems. We want to talk about issues that affects the human experience, whatever affects us on a daily basis. That is what this program is all about. And this is where we have the opportunity to share, enlighten persons. Listen, you need to start acting in a more mature way. You have your children looking on, and not even if you don't have children involved, for your own peace of mind. You know, you don't have to be going down the road and saying this and all kind of hurtful things about the partner. Remember, this person you once shared your life with.
And you loved to death.
I mean, they really said there's a very thin line between love and hate.
Yeah.
But these are the things that we need to really speak about. We need to address. Wherever change is needed, we need to make the necessary changes. If it is that we want a better quality of life, if we want to improve the kind of life that we have to do that.
And you know what? I recommend, and this is my personal recommendation to couples, even before marriage and even before premarital counseling, and that's more pastoral.
Yes.
I suggest premarital counseling, in terms of they both seek more the psychological counseling, type of counseling, like therapy and counseling, just to ensure that, you know, past childhood traumas and, you know, they are ready to be in such a committed relationship. Because most times we find couples, they have already set their date, and they are now presented to the pastor and saying, Pastor, we would like to get married. And now they are going into premarital counseling, but they yet have not dealt with the individual issues and traumas of their life. And we need to have more whole persons being married.
Of course.
Yeah?
Of course.
So that's my little 2 cents in it, that, you know, we should start considering premarital counseling. Seek therapy first, ensure that you are okay. Let the partner ensure that they are okay, you know, they are sound, they are able to manage themselves, manage their emotions, you know, everybody's on the same page, and then we could proceed.
Of course. You know, there's a saying persons would, as we get ready for the break, there's a saying that persons would usually say, they would ask, so how is your better half, or how is your other half? And I'm like, listen, as an individual, you're supposed to be a whole individual.
I agree.
So you're supposed to be able to manage your life, whether emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, financially, all of that. So when you take you as a whole woman, and you bring a whole man together, and you have a whole relationship, no half a relationship.
Wholeness.
Exactly, you want wholeness. We definitely want wholeness, but we're going to continue the conversation right after the break.
Awesome.
Viewers, we're going to take a short break. You're viewing Transforming Lives One at a Time. Stay with us.
Are you looking for beautiful and durable flooring for your home or office? Check out D-Cell's Tile and Ceiling Center, Store Bay Local Road, Bonaccord, Tobago, opposite the primary school. Our high-quality ceramic and porcelain tiles come in a wide range of colors, patterns, and textures to suit any style and taste. From sleek and modern to classical and traditional, your floors and walls will look great for years to come. D-Cell's Tile and Ceiling Center, open Monday to Saturday from 9 a.m. Call 460-8802 or 639-8281. We've got you covered.
Are you having issues with your vehicle overheating? No worries. Check out Graham's Radiator Service for sales and servicing of radiators, installation and flushing, pressure testing, gas tank recoating, and all your radiator needs. Check them out at Philadelphia Trace off the Plymouth Main Road in Marys Hill, Tobago, seconds from the Wim Anglican School. Call 639-1094 or 299-3097. Open Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m.
Hello, I'm Tehila and I love drawing since I was about 4 years old. I used to draw whenever I had the chance to, and over the years, I spent a lot of time practicing because I wanted to get better. Some drawings come out exactly how I imagined them to, and some don't. But I keep trying because practice and consistency is the key. One day I hope to become an interior architect because I love both drawing and design. For now, I enjoy creating portraits for people, and seeing their reaction when they receive a portrait I made is one of my favorite parts. I want other young people to know that you don't have to wait until you're older to start pursuing your dreams. If there's something you really love doing, don't stop because you're young or because you're not perfect yet. Just keep going. I started when I was 4 and I'm still learning every day. I'm Tehila Thomas and this is Good Vibes, Good News.
Welcome back to Transforming Lives One at a Time. Today we are speaking about practical ways to dealing with loss. Ms. Daniel, I want us to get into how children are affected through the loss of a spouse by divorce or separation. Because truth be told, we see instances of children acting out because many times they think they are possibly to be blamed for their parents going their separate ways. So just speak to that.
Okay. Well, that is true. A lot of times we do see behavioral challenges in children with the separation of their parents. Yeah. A child's brain doesn't develop till about 25 to 27. And it has to do with sometimes the way they perceive or interpret the situation, right? So they, in their mind, is like, mommy, daddy, me. We are family.
Right.
And they are accustomed seeing daddy every day or mommy every day. They're accustomed coming out, and all of a sudden, when daddy coming home, or why it is I visiting mommy on a weekend and I'm with you during the day. So there's an element of confusion. And, you know, I remember a parent stating, she left to study. She left to go away to study. And her 4-year-old child told her mother, which was the grandmom, but mommy, grandmom, I don't have a mommy again. And mind you, she spoke to this child maybe every night.
Yes.
And that is to show the perception and the concept that the children would have in their minds when facing a situation like this.
Yes.
Right? And it's up to the adults to be very patient, to be very understanding, and to explain things in a manner, you know, that a child could understand.
Yes.
And, you know, we would still notice other behavioral challenges where, in terms of, they may just become very untidy or very outbursts, you know,
Okay.
loud outbursts and aggressive outbursts as well in school.
Yes.
Their school grades might start failing. Children may even regress. So they have already passed the bedwetting stage, and all of a
Yes.
sudden they are bedwetting.
Right.
You know, and different things. They may experience difficulty in eating and irritability, and even for the teenagers, I have seen where teenagers, they are in a state of, you know, nobody can speak to them.
Oh, yes.
Right? And when you do the investigation, it's because of a split, of a parental split that may have happened when they were 9 or 10. And we even see adults are unable to build healthy relationships because of the experiences they had with the split of their parents.
So which means that when in instances like these, especially where children are involved, we have got to be intentional. We have got to address these matters and not try to sweep it under the carpet.
Correct.
Or even pretend that it is not affecting them, because many times you have a lot of children, they are not even speaking out, but they are acting out, and they have this attitude and slamming the doors, and you want to know where did that come from. So are we saying that we need to address these situations as it come up and not just hope that the children are
Will
okay?
understand, yes.
Or sometimes we say, well, they're just going through a phase. When something deeper is taking place on the inside that we are not addressing. Let's talk about that.
Because children experience the same emotions we adults feel, children feel it too.
Yeah.
They feel all of them. However, they may not have the skills to be able to express them in a healthy manner.
Okay.
Right? So that child may be acting out in grief or acting out in sadness.
Yes.
Right? And it's the responsibility of the parents to ensure that how they behave, it can give a safe space for the child to say, okay, well, I think we will still be okay. Right? And generally speaking, how a father treats a mother, it says to the children, this is how a man is supposed to honor and love a woman.
Precisely.
And how a mother treats the husband or the father, it says to the children, this is how a mother or a woman supposed to love and respect and honor her husband.
Correct.
Right? But oftentimes, as we said before, there's a lot of conflict and there's a lot of putting the child against the other parent.
Yes.
And this is so disruptive to the child's development and the child's ability to even make healthy decisions, healthy relationships. And it's one where I urge parents very strongly, please leave the children out of the adult matters.
Yes.
Right? What a child needs to know in the midst of a divorce is understanding, you know what? You, mom and dad, we may not be able to live together. I mean, I'm just saying simple terms, depending on the age of the child, and you have to use appropriate language.
Yes.
Right? We may not be able to, we are not living together anymore, but you know what? We both love you.
Yes.
And both parents hold the same head. At mom's house, it's the same rules at dad's house.
Right.
So there is no conflict.
Yes.
And a child would still feel love.
Of course. And no one parent is disrespectful to the other parent.
Yes.
And you know, this is something I want to speak, you know, when I speak into the camera.
Yes.
Parents, listen. Sometimes things don't work out. Even if you go your separate ways, please don't weaponize your children against the other parent. It is wrong and you need to stop. Because at the end of the day, the kind of repercussions, because we still want our children growing up to be responsible adults. Remember, when you as a father behave in that manner, or you as a mother behave in that manner, the children are looking on. Many times they may not say anything to you, but not because they do not say anything to you mean that they are not taking in the information. And you are now training these children to be someone else's wife or someone else's husband. And I really want to encourage you. Take some time. Do some much needed introspection. Put pride aside. Put foolishness aside. And think about your own welfare and think about the welfare of your children. Don't say I didn't say it. I did.
Agreed.
Yeah. We need to get it right. There are some things we just need to fix. Yeah. And that is what this program, Transforming Lives One at a Time, we want to delve into the areas and to the situations that we are not hearing on a daily basis. We'll be hearing about so many different things. We know the things that we hear about. Yes. But these things are the things that are affecting us, and these things are the things that are causing broken homes, why our children are ending up in the situations that they're ending up in. So we can't be naive. We have to address the white elephant in the room. We have got to fix it. We have got to make the difference. We have got to make the change. You know, we have just got to do it. We have to save our next generation.
Oh, and another thing, the way we parent today, it affects 3 generations, as you said.
Wow.
That. It affects the way our generations will parent at least 3 generations down the road.
So just think about that. If you as a parent act in this manner, and these children are now seeing it, okay, well, this is the way. Look how daddy is talking to mommy. Okay, this is all right. Look how mommy is talking to dad. Because we have a major problem with a lot of women speaking to their husbands and their spouses and their partners and even their sons in a certain manner that is just not right.
Correct.
Remember, respect is very important for men especially. And a lot of women, we are doing some things that are very, very disrespectful. I'm saying that we have got to stop. We have got to look inside of us and see exactly what we are doing. You know, and vice versa. Men, you supposed to speak to your wife in a certain way, do it. You're supposed to treat her with love and affection, do it. Women, you are supposed to treat your spouse or your significant other with respect, just do it. And you would be amazed the kind of harmonious relationships that this kind of behavior will foster, because we are being intentional about our behavioral patterns. We have got to do it. If we want to see change down the road. And as you said, 3 generations. You know what is 3 generations?
3 generations.
Just think about that. What are you saying to your generation? That's a question. I just looked into the camera, right? Well, in coming to terms with losing someone who you once held dear to your heart, it could be a spouse, a partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, because you know you have a lot of that, boyfriend, girlfriend. What are some coping mechanisms you suggest as you come to terms with the stark reality that this person is no longer in my life?
Right. Okay. The first thing I would say, you have to allow yourself to feel your emotions. So, and it's okay to be sad. It's okay to feel disappointed. It's okay to feel that way. You know, sometimes we even feel angry with ourselves. You know what? Why should I feel angry with this guy or this woman? You know, oh gosh, why I have this person in my mind so long? Right? But acknowledging it actually helps. Saying, okay, you know what, this is a person that I cared for, and this is a person that I loved. And emotionally, you would have made a bond with that individual.
Yes, of course.
Right? Emotionally, you would have made a bond with that individual. And what I would say is also to focus on your own passions and your desires. Look into that.
Yes.
Because even though you are in a marriage, it's 2 individuals, and for each individual, they would have their own, I would say, their own goals and aspirations.
Yes.
Right? And then as a couple, you will have goals and aspirations as a couple.
Of course.
Right? So in terms of if it's to build a family, if it's to build a home, you would have goals together.
Yes.
Then that's why it needs to be 2 whole individuals.
Yes.
Right? So one is not too caught up in the next one's life
right.
and overly, you know, involved in in the other party's life.
Yes.
You know, it's 2 persons and they're both supporting each other in a different avenues.
Okay.
right? So even if the relationship does end, it's that you are still here,
As
you
your
still
whole
have
person.
purpose, and you still have a life.
Of course.
And to tap into that, right? So that's one. Take care of your physical health.
Yes.
Making sure you eat, making sure you have exercise, making sure you have sleep, enough sleep.
Yes.
At least even those 3 main points in the physical aspect, it helps to boost your mood, it helps to oxygenate your blood, it gives you general improved emotional well-being.
Okay.
Right? Being physically involved in that category. I would say self-care. It does involve the physical,
Yes.
but it will involve now spiritual, your prayer life, your spirituality. Emotional could be being more self-aware, the psychological, like journaling, mindfulness,
Yes.
and social. Going out with family, friends, having that sort of an active life can help in coping with the loss of a relationship or a spouse. Those are some things that we would share.
I'm thinking forgiveness, because forgiveness is a word
Yes.
we could never exhaust.
Yes.
Forgiveness is very important as we traverse through
Yeah.
life generally.
We need to.
Yeah, but even as it relates to this relationship, sometimes, as you indicated earlier, you may not forgive yourself for probably making some bad decisions, or you may not forgive the individual.
That's a
and
good
then
one.
with that, you have that unforgiveness, as it were, on your chest.
Yeah.
And it affects you.
Yes, it does.
Affects you,
It does.
even your health. It
does.
affects you from the time you think about that person. The kind of animosity builds up, and it's like, or someone just mentions the person's name, and it's like it's a trigger.
It's a trigger. Yeah.
All these things we need to be able to deal with, and to get the necessary help in order to release persons, because we can't keep persons on our mind.
Yeah.
You could imagine you going to sleep and you're just thinking about this. Listen,
over and over, and I think it's. And also setting boundaries.
Yes.
You know, because sometimes we think we could end a relationship and, you know, we could still be friends. It have some that it works. And for others, they need that break.
Okay.
Right? And I would say sometimes taking a break from the communication is also helpful. So some persons, you know, we say we block it.
Yeah.
No, block on the social media. You know, we block them for a while, even if it's for a month, 3 months. Because the moment you engage, hey, how was your day? You're able to fall back into patterns.
Of course, of course.
It's very easy to fall back into a pattern, and you are there now saying, you know, but I know this relationship is not working for me. How did I end back here? How did I get back here? Because it's an emotional pull and an emotional connection.
Of course.
That you did not give it a chance to just, you know, dissolve.
Right. Well, Ms. Danielle, I want us to shift gears a bit. Let's talk about someone who, due to an accident or maybe a lifestyle disease, or even as a result of criminal activities, has lost a limb, a hand or foot. So now their mobility has been seriously compromised. Walk us through how that individual can begin to treat with the various emotions that comes with this. How do they adjust to this now new normal?
New normal. Well, personally for me, I see it as a traumatic loss, like a loss of limb or that kind of thing, or bodily function.
Or even your
sight or hearing.
Yes.
I see it as a traumatic loss because even your body members, it becomes part of your identity.
Correct.
Right? And now you may be classified as in the disabled, or you know, it's a new label, and I shouldn't say label, a next category that you may be placed in.
Differently able.
Differently able.
Now, yes.
Right. Differently able. And the way persons may cope, it could depend on their age. It could be dependent on their occupation. Because if I'm someone that is always on my feet, and I lose maybe a foot or my both legs, then that is something I have to now adjust.
Right.
You know, it could be dependent on our support system as well. Right? And it could be very difficult. However, I would say it's not impossible to progress healthily through such a situation. Right? Facing your fears, facing your emotions, it's important. And even seeking, I see where you may have to seek professional help in this type of circumstance.
Yes.
You know, just to talk it out, go through, and it's a safe space. It's a safe space. And it's a lot of grief that a person will experience because there are hopes, there are dreams. They want it to be this, like in terms of career-wise. And now because of this accident, I'm unable to be like the football star. If someone damages their leg, you know, and it could hinder now their ability to play professional football.
Of course.
Right? And also to note, the more you face, the more you do not face the reality or accept the reality, the longer you take to face the reality, it's the more difficult it can become psychologically for you. Right? Because the reality is, this is what it is now. Right? I have lost this limb. It's something that it cannot be changed.
It's a major
adjustment.
Yes, it is.
Right? And until they come to a place of acceptance, then they may always feel that inner turmoil. Right? Finding new activities or new skills.
Okay.
You may have to find new activities, new skills, or adjust the skills and activities you used to do. To suit before, to suit. And I would say, do not feel that because this has happened to you, you have no purpose in life. There's always purpose.
Yes. Once there is life.
Once there is a life, once you are able to speak cognitively, to logically, you are able to do things. You are able to still have a conversation. You can share things with the young people. You can create a whole life.
Right.
You know, it may be a new life, one that you may not have envisioned for yourself. But there is always hope and possibility.
Yes. So even if, in spite of how traumatic it is, you now have to look at the brighter side. You now have to look, okay, I still have life. I can still do this. Look at the positives.
Yes.
What can I do now? As opposed to thinking, well, I could have done this and I could. That is now in the past. So we have passed the past and we are now looking forward to the future. The things that we can now engage in and ensure that we are still living the life that we were born to do.
Yes,
to live.
A fulfilling life.
Yes, so we still have hope.
We still have
all
hope.
Hope is not lost.
Yes.
All right. At this time, we're going to take another break and we will be back.
Are you looking for beautiful and durable flooring for your home or office? Check out D-Cell's Tile and Ceiling Center, Store Bay Local Road, Bonacord, Tobago, opposite the primary school. Our high-quality ceramic and porcelain tiles come in a wide range of colors, patterns, and textures to suit any style and taste. From sleek and modern to classical and traditional, your floors and walls will look great for years to come. D-Cell's Tile and Ceiling Center, open Monday to Saturday from 9 a.m. Call 460-8802 or 639-8281. We've got you covered.
Are you having issues with your vehicle overheating? No worries. Check out Graham's Radiator Service for sales and servicing of radiators, installation and flushing, pressure testing, gas tank recoating, and all your radiator needs. Check them out at Philadelphia Trace off the Plymouth Main Road in Marysville, Tobago, seconds from the Wim Anglican School. Call 639-1094 or 299-3097. Open Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m.
Hello, I'm Tehila and I love drawing since I was about 4 years old. I used to draw whenever I had the chance to, and over the years I spent a lot of time practicing because I wanted to get better. Some drawings come out exactly how I imagined them to, and some don't. But I keep trying because practice and consistency is the key. One day I hope to become an interior architect because I love both drawing and design. For now, I enjoy creating portraits for people, and seeing their reaction when they receive a portrait I made is one of my favorite parts. I want other young people to know that you don't have to wait until you're older to start pursuing your dreams. If there's something you really love doing, don't stop because you're young or because you're not perfect yet. Just keep going. I started when I was 4 and I'm still learning every day. I'm Tahila Thomas and this is Good Vibes, Good News.
Welcome back to the program, Transforming Lives One at a Time. My guest today, Miss Karelle Daniel, and she's a counseling psychologist. We continue the conversation. I would like us to touch a bit on the loss of a child through miscarriage and the coping mechanisms that can be adopted by both mother and father, and of course, by extension, the rest of the family.
Okay. Awesome. I appreciate that you said mother and father.
Yes.
Because a lot of times we
concentrate only on the
mother
mothers
and not recognize that the fathers
also grieve.
Yes.
And that was intentional.
Yes.
When I put mother and father, because I remembered that and I said I am going to include the father.
Yes, I agree. And even for the mother, she goes through a lot of hormonal changes at that time because her body is now trying to adjust to not having a baby.
Yes.
And that in itself can intensify her emotional responses. Right? And for anyone who is going through that type of a loss, I will say, today you may be fine, and tomorrow you may not be fine, and that is okay.
Yes.
That is okay. There'll be a range of emotions, a range of questions, be it medically, be it, to God. There'll be a lot of questions. And whether it was your first child or third child, and even if you may have had children before, it still is a pain. You still will receive that level of pain because it's a loss.
And
it's
part
a life.
of you.
It's a life and it's part of you.
Yes.
Right? And I would say allow yourself to grieve, seek support from your family, your friends, and a lot of times we don't think that persons would understand our pain, and maybe they won't.
Yeah.
However, they will provide a support that they can.
Of course.
Right? And you can tell them as well what type of support you need. You know what? I may just need someone to bring me some food today.
Yeah.
Or I just want to be taken to the beach and
Relax.
Be able to relax. So you can share with your family members and friends, the type of support that you may need at the time. There's a support group in Tobago. I know that it's the baby loss solace seekers.
Wow.
Right? There's a support group in Tobago, and though it's not only not only for Tobagoans, because there are persons from Trinidad and other parts of maybe the Caribbean and the world that may tune in because they have meetings online, and they are very active, so you can check them out on Facebook. So joining a support group can help for both mother and father.
Yes.
Right? Also, seeking therapy or counseling, because sometimes it can be a bit too much, or it can become overwhelming. Seeking therapy and counseling can help.
Yes.
And plan ahead for triggers. Even during your pregnancy, you may have been given a expected date, birth date of the baby, and you know that birth date is coming up.
Right.
I would say plan ahead for such triggers. Plan ahead, sometimes it's difficult seeing other persons with their babies.
With their babies, correct.
Right? So you can decide, okay, if this happens, or if this situation happens, what I can do to help myself. Okay. And even in therapy, they will give you additional tools.
Right.
In order to work through those things.
So there is help.
There is help. There is help.
There is help. In keeping with losing a baby via miscarriage, what kind of robust support system? Well, I think we kind of touched a little bit on it. Apart from, I want to zero into the fathers a bit, because many times, as you rightfully said at the beginning, we put all our focus on the mothers. But remember, it's a mother and a father
Yeah.
You understand? And many times we tend to say, well, okay, they don't feel it, but they are also grieving the loss.
yes.
So let's talk a little bit about that.
And it's difficult for a male to see their female partner in distress. That in itself. So he may feel a sense of helplessness. You know, I am grieving, I am hurting, and I'm seeing you hurting, and it's so hard because it's not something I can fix. Because no men are fixers.
Of course.
Right? Problem solvers. And so it's very difficult for him. At the time, and I would say even the mothers, check in with him as well. You'll have those types of private conversations. You know, how you're doing today. And for family members and friends, check in on the father.
Yeah.
Ensuring that, you know, he's okay. And for fathers, if you are struggling, I want to say, please seek support and help. There may be an adult, another male that you can, or mentor you can go and speak with.
Yes.
They can go and have the conversation and be able to express themselves. Because it is important for both mom and dad to be able to release the emotions that they are feeling inside.
Yes.
It
and
is important.
It's also okay for the fathers to be vulnerable.
Yes.
It's okay. It's okay. Because you are grieving as well. You are grieving as well. So we can't take it for granted that the mother is feeling all the pain.
Yes.
And all the focus is on the mother. Yes, we understand she was the one actually carrying the life. I understand that. But we have also got to put into play that there's a mother and there is a father. And that father is also grieving. So we have to be very mindful. And sometimes we have to change the way we think, change our mindset to just think it's just the mother alone. And you will find out from the father. So how she's doing today? Never. So how are you doing today?
Yeah.
So we want to zero in. That's why I'm saying we want to address things and circumstances, problems that we don't normally address.
Yeah.
We want to get into these defined details to ensure we find solutions.
And don't trivialize the pain of our men.
Yes, precisely. Sometimes we think they don't hurt, but our men hurt. Many times they may not say anything because, you know, they have a way, okay, yes, I'm strong.
I have to be strong for the family. I have to
be strong for everyone else. But sometimes he is weak and he will need that encouragement.
Yeah.
So we need to encourage on both sides.
Yes.
We need to encourage on both sides. Very, very important. Are you of the view that persons many times in dealing with loss tend to put up a brave front so as not to cave in emotionally?
I think so. I believe so. I do that sometimes. You know, sometimes you may be going through a situation, but you still have to function in the world that you live in.
Right, correct.
And you still have to go to work.
Yes.
And you still have to see about the children, and you still have to do everything and show up.
Right.
So I believe, yes, a lot of times that many of us, we do put on this brave front.
Yes.
And though it may not be healthy, it is a reality for many. And then to its a limit, it's a matter of who can I trust?
True.
Who can I trust with my truth?
Yeah. Who can I confide in?
Who can I confide in?
And not hear it 2 days later, the exact word for word that I confided. Yeah.
And I always say there is one. There is one.
There must be.
At least one. And if not one friend or family member, I will say then seek a counselor.
Yes.
Because they are obligated to, in terms of confidentiality, and to be non-judgmental.
Yes.
You know, so there is at least one person that you ought to share or that you ought to speak out to. Yes. You do not have to walk this earth alone. I do not believe we were created to walk on the earth alone. We need people.
Need each other.
We need each other.
We need each other.
We really do need each other.
True.
And even for community members, you know that a family is struggling.
Yeah.
You know, we could help. We could all pool or help.
Of course. And don't just pretend as if something isn't happening. You know that a family member is going through a traumatic time. Don't just sit there and say, well, we all have our problem. No.
Yeah.
We need to be able to empathize with persons because you never know when your turn will come.
Yeah.
Your time might come earlier than you expect. And you would
Correct.
want somebody to be there for you, to be there, to be able to encourage. And many times it's just a listening ear, you know, or a shoulder to cry on, or a shoulder to lean on. And many times we take these kinds of things for granted because we don't feel the pain that people feel. A loved one may be in the hospital or something like that, and you're there, just send a text message. How is Mark doing today? How is Sherry doing today? I heard that she wasn't feeling. You see, things like that, the little things that sometimes we overlook. These kind of things could be like, because chances are nobody else messaged them today to find out how she's doing.
How they're doing,
And they will remember, wow, this person. And these are the kind of things that we need to do again as we continue to build our strong homes and communities and have a strong nation. We need to love again.
We do.
We need to love again, and that genuine love.
Yeah.
It's called the agape love, the love that loves in spite of. We need to incorporate that kind of love again into our relationship, into our lives.
I agree,
Definitely.
100%.
Well, I know we're almost wrapping up time. I wanted to find out, where can persons reach out for that much needed help and support in dealing with general loss? Maybe just a listening ear, somebody that they could talk with, get some advice, that kind of thing.
I would say you could start first at the family level and the friends level, you know, to get that level of support. You could start at that level. If you really don't have anyone in those circles, you may be able to have a coworker.
Okay.
Because I'm throwing out everything.
Yes.
You know, you may have a coworker that you can confide in, or someone within your community that you can confide in. You know, maybe an older person or an elderly who can, you know, be able to give you good, solid advice or recommendations. Your church community, you would have maybe an elder, somebody within your church community that you can seek support from. And then we have professional help.
Of course.
Right? We have in the private and we have in the public. We have it in the private, public. And there is the EAP services of persons' establishments or workplaces.
Okay.
That's Employee Assistance Program.
Right.
Most private organizations tend to have that, and even our government divisions here in Tobago, I think. Majority of them should have, and they can always inquire. Persons can always inquire.
So you could reach out. There is always help.
There's help somewhere.
Because many times persons say, you know, I didn't know who I can go to. There are options because of that same trust factor. That is a real thing, huh? Because, you know, we are, I don't want to say we are proud people, but we are. We are proud people. And when things go wrong in our lives, we don't really want others to know. I don't want them up in my business.
Yeah,
I don't want. But when you need help, you need help.
Yeah.
As the saying goes, desperate times calls for desperate measures. So you got to put things in place to ensure that you get the much needed help that you need. Because if you don't get the help, it means that you can be overwhelmed, and we don't want that.
Yes.
So always reach out for that help. Always reach out. There is some organization that will be able to make an impact on your life and be able to allow things to change and transform. I want to give you the opportunity for your closing comments and a bit of advice for that individual that may be facing significant loss today. We covered so many different areas today in terms of loss, and there are so many more to cover as we delve in deeper. But just give that person that kind of advice today.
I know at this time you may be feeling very discouraged. You may be feeling tired, tired of this fight.
Yeah.
Every day is a struggle. Why things have to be so hard? I want to encourage you to please press forward and to press on. tap into your inner resources. You do have inner resources, and you do have a strength that you may not have. Recognize that you have a strength, and someone is waiting on you to cross the finishing line so that you can now pull them across the finishing line too. Because someone is watching you, and they are learning from you, and they are being encouraged by you and from your own actions. So I would encourage you, please, reach out for help. There is help. Find the help. You have government agencies that can help counseling. There are private agencies that can help in terms of counseling. Seek help in the support system, your family, your friends, your church community. Please do seek the help, because your life is worth it, and you are worth it. I thank you.
Definitely well said. So you heard that. Your life is worth it. You are worth it. You are worth the fight. Don't you give up. Not at all. This is 2025. Don't you give up. Well, folks, this is how we wrap up today's program. And we spoke about practical ways in dealing with loss. We spoke about general loss. So many different kinds of loss that we spoke about. And I want to encourage you that in spite of wherever you may be at this time, there is always hope. Once there is life, there is hope, and things can change for the better. So don't you dare give up, all right? You have been viewing Transforming Lives One at a Time. Be sure and tune into next week's program at same time, Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. where we'll be delving into another topic that affects you. You can also tune into Transforming Lives One at a Time Facebook page and my YouTube channel. You can subscribe, share with a friend, share with a neighbor, share with a relative. These are topics that you need to hear and you need to share. So on the YouTube channel, Transforming Lives One at a Time. Okay, so as usual, I leave you with the definition of transformation, which is an internal shift that brings us into alignment with our fullest potential. I'm your host, Dianne. Hey, we've got this. See you next time.